Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my NHL 20 franchise mode here in the state of hockey. In the previous episode, we battled the St. Louis Blues for the first ever time in our franchise's history in the second round, and we beat them in 5 games. You know, it was an interesting series. We go up 1-0, they tie it in Minnesota. We go over to St. Louis, and we take 2 games. And those 2 games, we scored 11 goals combined in 2 games. That's pretty good. That's pretty solid work. But we also allowed 8 goals in 2 games. Then we head into Game 5 on home ice, and we close out the series. A 2-1 victory. I believe we headed into the third period, and it was 1-0 St. Louis. A late goal for the Wild propelled us to the Western Conference Finals. And we are going to be battling the Edmonton Oilers. One of the I believe they were number 2 in the league this year. 116 points, I want to say. Am I correct? I am correct. They are the next best team out of the Western Conference. You can already see Winnipeg is gone. There's San Jose's gone. St. Louis is gone. Dallas. All the Western teams have fallen except for the Edmonton Oilers and the Minnesota Wild. This is bound to be one of the best series, or most entertaining series. In the Eastern Conference Finals, you have the Philadelphia Flyers and the Buffalo Sabres. I mean, obviously, I want to make it to the finals. That is the most important thing. I don't care who we face, but it would be so much fun to face the Philadelphia Flyers to complete the three-peat. Three-peat? Really, Owen? You went 2 minutes! 2 minutes without making a mistake, and you go ahead and you do that. I'm not even going to cut it out because this is the kind of video maker I am. If it's not a super important episode, obviously this is an important episode, but if it isn't like needs the editing, then I won't do it. It's just a part of my quirky humor. So, before we head into the Western Conference Finals for the, what is this, 4th straight year? Yeah, impressive stuff. We are going to be checking out the stats. Obviously, Alexei Pietrangelo leads us. He went off in those last few games there, decided to score a bunch of goals. Same with Kirill Kaprizov. You can't stop the captain. If I'm not mistaken, he scored the series-clinching goal for the Minnesota Wild. He's, I overlook him a lot. Not in a, he's so bad. But with guys like Pietrangelo and Jack Hughes and Anthony Francis and Quinn Hughes, it's not hard to remember Kaprizov. It's just really, really nice seeing him put up MVP numbers. He's the man. That's a fact. 106 points, his second best season ever. 689 career points in the NHL. He's got over half a goal per game in his career. He's the man. And he continues to prove himself here in Minnesota. But he is also tied with Alexei Pietrangelo. They've both been very, very impressive in their own rights. Pietrangelo is a pretty solid plus-minus player. Not too many penalty minutes. He's been very, very good. Both have been solid, or not solid. They're over a point per game in the postseason. That's exactly what I need to see. But I need bigger things. Jack Hughes. Now, it is a contract season for Jack Hughes. Same with Kel Newmanen, our number 3 and 4 point scorers for forwards. I might send out a contract or 2 during this episode. At least 1. Because Jack Hughes, I looked at the contract and he's not asking for $16 million anymore. I would be willing to give him 7 over an allotted amount of time. because I legitimately like him. I know there's a few people in the comments that are like, well, I completely understand that. I think it's all going to come towards the draft. Maybe we throw a contract here or there, but we have his rights, which is all that matters. And he's having a phenomenal postseason for the second straight year for Jack Hughes. We haven't lost. We haven't not won a Stanley Cup without Jack Hughes. Think about it that way. Cale Newmanen. He hasn't scored as many goals as I want. You know, last year he was a big part of our success winning the Stanley Cup. If I'm not mistaken, he won the... I want to say he won the Conn Smythe last year over Anthony Francis, and I understand it. 15 goals, 20 games. He was a machine. You know, he's got 10 points in 11 games this year, but he is a bona fide goal scorer for us. He's been kind of absent in the postseason in goal scoring. Obviously, points are important, but I need to see goal production from a 50 goal scorer. He hasn't been bad, though. And not the biggest disappointment, but Anthony Francis, 9 points in 11 games. He is going up against the top-tier centers like Nathan MacKinnon, Ryan O'Reilly, whoever else St. Louis had on their top line. He's playing power play, he's playing penalty kill, he's playing extra lines. He's basically the goaltender. 9 points in 11 games is not bad. He needs to be a point-per-game player, though. He's not a bad plus-minus. A little too many penalty minutes, but he does have 2 game winners. Out of his 3 goals, he has 2 game winners, which means he scores goals exactly where we need him to score goals. Okay? He does even have a shorthand point, which is good. Chris Griffin. Chris Griffin continues to be the most underrated player on the Minnesota Wild. Yes, I said it. He's officially gotten that title. When we got him, when we drafted him, when he became an 82 overall, we played him in the AHL that one year. He was really, really solid. 89 points in 76 games for the Iowa Wild. Comes over to Minnesota, about half a point per game in his rookie season. Comes back the next year, has 39 points, 21 goals. This year, 38 points, about exactly where he was last year, less goals, but overall, he was a really solid player for us. Worst takeaway to giveaway ratio, but he continues to be a defensive asset, an offensive asset on that third line, and we have him locked up at a really solid contract as a dominant third liner. I really, really like what he brings to the table. Louis Langweeder had the best second round out of, I believe, everybody. You know, you can talk about Weeman, you can talk about Kaprizov, Petey, Jack Hughes, Anthony Francis. This guy put up goals. If I'm not mistaken, he might have put up 5 goals in that round. He was on fire. 7 points in 11 games. It's not exactly where I want him to be, but he stepped up against St. Louis, where everybody kind of like faltered. He scored goals. 1 game winner, 6 goals, 7 points. He's been good. Luke Kunin, 5 points in 11 games, half point per game player. That's exactly where I want him always. I love Luke Kunin. He is the best third-line center in the league, consistently putting up 45, 40-ish points every year. He's been very, very consistent for us. Great or solid giveaway to takeaway ratio. I like him, but if cap is a problem, he's going to be one of the players on the list that we got to ship out of town. But right now, we need him to be at his best. Sergei Gogolev didn't have the best round, you know. He was solid defensively. I want to say he didn't put up any points that round. I want to say he didn't. They got shut down. St. Louis's third line put up a lot of points that round, so I won't fault him too much. He's a rookie. He's a legitimate goal scorer, or he's going to be a legitimate goal scorer. We know exactly what he brings to the table. 25 goals in a rookie year. He's only going to get better. A future 50 goal scorer in his own right. Adam Beckman, Duar, and Mateos, they got better. Not a lot of points from all of them. Not the best plus-minuses either, but it seems like the other team's depths have put up a bunch of points the last few rounds, so that's not infuriating, but I understand it. But everybody needs to be better. We are 8 wins away from a three-peat. Still a long ways to go, Minnesota. Defense, how's it looking? Brandt Clark continues to impress. 8 points in 11 games. This guy just has a phenomenal regular season. 65 points, 60 points, 76, 70. I feel like he's always going to be a 60-plus player for us. He comes into the postseason and is dominating. You know, he's been really, really good for us. Marcus Mironov is an absolute beauty. What can I say? Marcus Mironov is the man. You know, you have your Quinn Hughes and your Brandt Clarks. This was the first ever pick I made as general manager of the Minnesota Wild. This was the first pick. We also picked Lucas Raymond that draft, but I digress. He started this whole rebuild, and he's a machine. Quinn Hughes, you know, he started off the first round with 1 point. Not great. He finished 11 games, 2 rounds over and done with 5 points. He got better. Plus, minus, I think, went up, which is good. You know, you look at years previous in the postseason, he's been so much better in years past. But if he wants to continue to impress, having an MVP caliber season, best Norris, or best defenseman in the league, he's going to win the Norris for the 3rd straight season. 3rd or 4th straight season. I can't really recall. It's been so many trophies at this point, but he needs to get better. Maurice Potvin and Hicketts and Bissonnette have all been good in their own right. Hicketts, quiet, but 2 points plus 4. He's not a liability. No penalty minutes, too. These bottom pairing guys have no penalty minutes combined, which is a huge positive. Maurice Potvin is actually shooting 28%, which is phenomenal. 4 points for, I believe, I want to say this is his, what season is this? This is his sophomore season. I feel like he's going to consistently get better. Same with Bissonnette. 1 point. Yeah, through 11 games, not bad. Plus minus isn't the worst in the world, so he hasn't been a liability. But it always comes down to goaltending. Jaden Weeman, 8-3-0, 903, and a 273 goals against. Technically, he got worse that round against St. Louis. He had some decent performances there, including Game 5, a few other games where it was close and he held down the gates. There were a few instances in that rounds or the rounds where we gave up leads really, really quickly, late period goals, which seems to be his specialty. But he's the best goaltender in the league in his own right, and he's a 2-time Stanley Cup winner. Vasanoyev, I have a feeling, I think for sure I'm going to ship him out because we have Rensfeld, we have Mackey, we have so many other goaltenders that are about to take his spot, and yeah, it really hasn't been very, very impressive. Okay? But it is time to see what the Edmonton Oilers are looking like. But before we see what they look like, I want to see how they got here to the Western Conference Finals. Who do they face in the first round? They fought the Dallas Stars. 7 games, and they beat the Stars in 7 in the first round. They head to San Jose, whoop them in 5. So both of us are pretty burnt out through the first round. You know, 6 games for us, 7 for them. But the second round, we both had pretty easy matchups, even though sometimes it didn't seem like that. But we're here. Both of us are pretty rested heading into the Western Conference Finals. If I am not mistaken, this might be the first time Minnesota is ever facing Edmonton in the postseason. So this is going to be a challenge and a half, because you know what the Oilers are made of. You know the man, and he is a world beater. His name is Connor McDavid, 99 overall. I mean, he's not the best player in the NHL anymore, but he has 12 goals in 12 games through the postseason. Oh my God. You know, Connor McDavid, Connor McJesus, the second coming of Christ himself. just signed an 8-year deal at $12.59. 100% worth it. He is Edmonton's franchise. He's at the ripe old age of 30. His line mates, it doesn't get any easier for us. Leon Draisaitl, potential MVP winner in the NHL IRL this year, even though I think it should be Panarin, but that's just me. 77 games this year, 96 points, about over 100 point per game clip. Yeah, it gets scary. I know, but Draisaitl's only good because of McDavid. No. Draisaitl is so good in his own right. And you top it all off with Kailer Yamamoto. He is an assist machine, as you see right there. He has 17 assists through 12 games. I assume that most of those assists come from Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. So that is rough for us. Our first line is going to have some troubles. Second line, it doesn't get any easier for us. They have Jay Schofield. First line forward now, medium elite, 88 overall at 22 years of age. He was the 23rd pick in the 2023 NHL entry draft. So if I'm not mistaken, that's the year that we also drafted Louis Langweeder. I believe Langweeder went 22nd overall? Or 20th? Somewhere around there. Very, very similar draft stock, right? It was the most stacked draft in NHL history. A lot of players went very, very late in that round that were very, very talented. And he seems to be one of them. You also have Jesse Puljujärvi, another talented forward for the Edmonton Oilers. Hopefully they don't screw him up. They also have Elias Lindholm, another Swede. Can't get mad at a Swede. Do you even know a bad Swede? The answer is no. The third line, it really doesn't get any easier for us. Nathan, Owen pronounces Gaucher. Gaucher? He's French for sure. He's French-Canadian, right? Maybe. He's technically a second line forward, 84 overall at 23 years of age. That's a decent little centerman there for Edmonton. So their center depth is quite phenomenal because you have Ryan Nugent-Hopkins playing lefty. Right, so he's another first overall pick for the Edmonton Oilers, but dangerous in his own right. They also have Bobby Bobson, a created player, a subscriber created player who I threw in. Not a bad little player for the Edmonton Oilers. Bobby Bobson. Hopefully he doesn't come back to bite us. Fourth line, they have Jacob Lukow. Laku? Boston Bruins prospect IRL. Solid player. Especially on the fourth line. Doesn't seem to be the best defensively. But that's a good fourth liner either way. You also have Cale Yarncroc. And you have Jesperi Kapanen. So that is a fast fourth line. And obviously you're a fast team with Connor frickin' McDavid. Their defense. Okay. Mikhail Sergachev, who they brought over near the trade deadline this year. I'm like, yeah. If we're getting back to the Stanley Cup Finals, we're going to have to run through this team. Mikhail Sergachev was one of the best pickups during the deadline. I'm assuming he's 3 years on a $6 million deal. Edmonton is in a perfect position to win right now. They also have Oscar Klefbom, Nikita Zadorov, Michael Matheson, Nate Schmidt, and Connor Hobbs. I've seen a lot of defenses like this. They have their one top piece in Mikhail Sergachev, and they have a lot of 82-plus overall defensemen. Klefbom, Zadorov, Matheson, Schmidt. They all fit the same archetype. That's a decent defense. And their goaltending. Their starting goaltender is Mackenzie Blackwood, the young chip on the block for the New Jersey Devils. Playing with the Edmonton Oilers. He's been around the block at this point, St. Louis, Vegas, and now here in Edmonton. 37 wins in the regular season, 902 and a 288. He's under a 900 save percentage in the postseason right now. Their backup is Vini Vevalainen, another solid backup goaltender for the Edmonton Oilers. Okay, I can dig it. I mean, I wish they were worse, but you can obviously tell they rely a lot on their offense. Scratch players, you have Klim Kostin, you have Nick Patan, and Jeremy Wilmer, who is a high top six forward. Edmonton, you got to play these guys. I know you have like an 84 overall here and there, but Bobby Bobson, check him out of the lineup. He's a beauty, but don't got to hurt your young guys like that. So it is time for the Western Conference Finals for the 4th straight year. We get a chance to make it back to the Stanley Cup Finals, but first we have to go through the NHL's second best team in the league because we are the best. President's Trophy winners, game number 1 against the Edmonton Oilers. Here we go. I'm scared. I'm not sure how this one is going to turn out. First period underway. I can already tell that our first line is getting just absolutely stomped. Kailer Yamamoto scores early on the power play. Kasperi Kapanen scores about 12 minutes later. Nope. Come on, do math. 8 minutes later. Wow, I'm bad at math. Shots are pretty even, but they lead the game 2-0. We can still make this a game. Second period. We score early. Kirill Kaprizov is the man that shows up. Make it a 1-goal game. But Bobby Bobson scores a goal. Weeman lets up another late period goal. When is it going to stop, Weeman? Man, oh man. Hold out for like 5 minutes. Literally all I'm asking. Edmonton leads in shots and goals. It's still a game, Minnesota. Let's start off this round right. A little bit of magic. Marcus Mironov on the power play. Still a long power play underway. Come on, can we get a little bit magic? Kirill Kaprizov, second of the evening, ties this one early in the third period. Plenty of hockey to play. Come on, Minnesota. Cap the comeback off. Is it a hat-trick goal for Kaprizov? Another power play for Minnesota. A long one. We can't get it done. Minnesota. That ain't good. I don't like that. Why? Oh, it's at 4 speed. Never mind. Oops, sorry. Come on, Minnesota. Minnesota, come on. Can we get a late one? Can we get a late one? Chris Griffin! Joe Hicketts with an empty netter. The depth gets it done. 4 straight goals. The empty netter was a gimme? Sure. Marcus Mironov starts the comeback in the third period, making it a 1-goal game. Kaprizov ties things up, his second of the evening. And you call to the third line, Magic Man in Chris Griffin. 1:09 remaining in the third period. Joe Hicketts caps it off with an empty netter. A big third period, plenty of momentum on our side. Anthony Francis with a quietly impressive night. And Kirill Kaprizov is now our leading point scorer. But the most important stat, we got the victory. One we probably shouldn't have gotten. Our offense didn't show up until the third period. I need more consistent scoring from this team. We would be just destroying teams if we were that consistent every game. Come on. Game number 2, home ice. Let's see if we can walk in Edmonton with a 2-0 lead. First period. A short-handed goal to start the game for Petroangelov. And then the special teams continue to dominate. Jack Hughes on the power play for Minnesota. And make it 2-0 on special teams for the Wild heading in to the second period. Shots are pretty even, but we have the 2-0 lead. Second period of play. Connor McDavid rears his ugly head almost exactly halfway through the game. Scores his first goal of this round, and that's exactly what we didn't want to see, because when you tick Connor McDavid off, He's going to let you burn. Third period. Come on. A long, grueling period ahead. Can we get 1 goal, 2 goals, maybe? A little bit of offense from the Minnesota Wild. Power play for Edmonton. I hate that. We kill it off. Somehow we kill it off. A power play of our own. Captain Caprasa. Oh, I spoke too soon. Yarncroc for the Edmonton Oilers. It's a close one. It's pretty even. But we walk out of Minnesota with a 2-0 lead thanks to the game-winning goal on the power play from Kirill Kaprizov. Oh. You gotta love him. How do you not love that man? He showed up big time rush. And no! Quinn Hughes! No! Oh, that sucks. Radko Gudas, I guess you're coming into the lineup, bud. 21st, we lose him. Oh, he's had a rough go. He's had a rough go this offseason. 21st, start of the next round, if this one goes 7. Okay. Oh, that sucks for the Minnesota Wild. I got to do a little bit of digging here. I don't necessarily want Quinn Hughes in, or I don't want Radko Gudas in that position. Do we bring up a Kalen Addison? He might be decent. I'm going to do it. Kalen Addison, make your way up to the NHL, bud. It's your time. It's your time to shine. But obviously, it's still a long series. Radko Gudas, I love you, bud, but let's give this one to Addison. Let's see if he can do something here for the Wild. Do we go? I think I'm going to go Miron. I should probably spread the wealth, right? I'll go Addison, Clark, Bissonnette, Mironov, Hicketts, and Potvin. Give Addison some time on the PP. Oh, I said PP. Ha, I'm hilarious. But, yeah, it does suck losing Quinn Hughes. He's had a rough go the postseason, but he was turning it around there. 2 points through 2 games in the third round. He was getting better consistently, but we lose him to at least the Stanley Cup Finals. Back to edit lines. AHL, you're fine. AHL, you're fine. You're fine, AHL. You're good. You're good. C, you're fine. Okay. A long series ahead of us. We are heading to Edmonton, the Rogers Place. Here we go. Still a long series ahead of us, but we are up 2-0 against I almost said the Philadelphia Flyers, the Edmonton Oilers. Game number 3 underway. We lose potentially the MVP winner this season in Quinn Hughes. That is a big blow for the Wild, but I know we are a good team. Here we go. Edmonton Oilers, first period. Connor McDavid opens the scoring before I could press X. You know you're having a bad game when? Weeman, for the love of God, stop doing that. It's either super late period goals or super early period goals. Like, hold on. That's all I'm asking, man. Yeah, you can let up a few here and there. But that, I know it's Connor McDavid, but Jesus, man. Second period. Our offense, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where did our offense go? Shots are dead even, but they lead the game 1-0. Kirill Kaprizov, I'm calling to you for another stellar third period. Captain, make it happen. Third period underway. Minnesota, do not get shut out. I swear to God, Minnesota, you are so much better than a shutout. Don't you dare. You have 100 offense, man. You have the best offense in the league. Yarncroc scores the 2-0 goal. Yeah, this one's over. No momentum for the Minnesota Wild. You lose Chris Griffin scores. Still a game, technically. Come on. Anything? Anything late? Chris Griffin ruins the shutout for Blackwood. But that is not enough to make it a 3-0 series lead for the Minnesota Wild. An impressive games from both goaltenders, but our offense got stunned there. at the Rogers place. We have a chance for a little bit of redemption. It's either they tie the series or we take a 3-1 advantage. An all-important game number 4. Here we go. Come on, Minnesota. I know you lose your biggest or one of your biggest pieces, but you gotta be better. First period. Puljujärvi scores early. Kaprizov ties things up, and Lindholm gets a 2-1 lead for the Edmonton Oilers. They lead us in shots, 15-13. Our offense is nowhere to be seen right now. I don't know what's happening. I see 1 or 2 guys show up for us right now. Second period. Okay. No scoring after or during the second period of play. Now they're leading us in shots, 30-21. You get no pep talk, Minnesota. You gotta bring this one back. Power play for Minnesota. Come on. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins scores right off the penalty kill. A power play again for the Minnesota Wild. And they score again right... What is wrong with you, Weeman? What is your problem? Seriously. Legitimately. Pietrangelo... Oh, whatever. Terrible third period performance. 2 power plays where you let goals right away after 5-on-4 power plays. Nah, something's got to change. We head back to Minnesota with the series tied. Tell me, is Quinn Hughes ready to go? Is he ready to go, man? I want to go best lines. Yeah, you know what? We're pulling the EHEs. We're going best lines, folks. That's exactly what we're going to do, and you're going to have to deal with it. How's Francis been doing here? 14 points in 15 games. Do I go? Do I put Francis on the second line? You know, we're going to put Francis on the second line. We're going to test the thing out. Maybe if we don't match him up against Connor McDavid, he'll do better. Here's hoping. Game number 5. Series is tied. It's a best of 3. We've had plenty of these before in the past. Back in Minnesota where we went 2-0 to start this round. A chance at another Stanley Cup Finals. First period of game number 5. Here we go. Cale Newmanen gets moved up to that first line, and he scores 2 in the first. Clefbaum actually ties the game, and Cale Newmanen takes it into his own hands. Less than 10 seconds later. Or actually more than 12 seconds. Sorry, my bad. 12 seconds later. Makes it a lead for the Minnesota Wild. We outshoot them by 5, 13-8, but we outscore them, which is the most important stat. Second period. Okay, Jack Hughes gets promoted just to balance things out. Connor McDavid goes ahead and scores the 3-2 goal, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. I'm not mistaken. 3-2 goal, but Langweeder takes it into his own hands again. The machine, the late series machine, makes it 4-2, a 2-goal lead in the third period for the Minnesota Wild. Minnesota, I know they have weapons, but goddamn, you're Minnesota. Third period. You are the state of hockey, man. You're the state of goddamn Hockey Mironov, you beauty! Eminem! Lukau, I don't care. Come on. 5-3. We have a lead, a big lead, halfway through the third period. Another power play for Edmonton. We kill it off. Oh, goddamn. Oh, Weeman, please hold it out. Dude, just do everything you can. 1 minute. Brant Clark with an empty netter. I will take it with 15 seconds remaining. A 3-goal victory. Jack Hughes has a performance of a lifetime. 4 points, 1 goal, 3 assists. That is good. That is very, very good. It was a close one, I'm not going to lie. That was a very, very close and scary game for the Minnesota Wild. But we were good. We got it done there. Now it's still a best of 3 technically, but we have 2 chances to win it. I don't want to head back to Minnesota for Game 7. I don't. I want to finish it here in Edmonton. I know they have a great mall. I know coronavirus is a thing, but you can just go in a hazmat suit. It's okay. Game number 6, a chance to head back to the Stanley Cup Finals for the 4th consecutive season, a chance to three-peat potentially. We have 2 shots. Here we go, game number 6, first period. Starting it off right, Anthony Francis, a late goal in the first period. We're out shooting them quadruple! 19-5, basically quadruple. Anthony Francis, I didn't demote you, okay? That's not my intentions. I did not purposely mean to demote you, okay? I just moved you around, and you proved me right there with an early goal for the Minnesota Wild. Second period. Yes! Yes! Petrangelov, an early power play goal, making it 2-0 Minnesota. Cale Newman making it 3-0. And Jarnkrok, obviously the only man I've seen, the only name I've seen score in this postseason so far for the Oilers is Jarnkrok. It feels like a late period goal. Now, Weeman, you had one job. Legitimately one job. Just get it to the third and go from there. Don't make it 3-0 Minnesota heading into the third. I know that's a lot to ask for, but it tends to like you give up always late period goals, and I don't appreciate it. I do not appreciate it. I don't. There's no pep talk. I mean, that was a pep talk, but Minnesota, let's head to the Stanley Cup Finals. We're out shooting them by double. Third period, come on, Minnesota. A chance to head back to the finals. Connor McDavid scores early. This one is far from over. Bobby Bobson, for the love of God, Weeman. You had one job, Weeman. You had one job. One job. One job, man. One job. That's all you had to do. How many power plays are we going to get, Minnesota? You can't score on one? Oh. Weeman, you fool! Why are you consistently the best and worst goaltender in the league? Ow, that's not even science. What? Oh, see? Oh, what did I say? Is Quinn Hughes healthy? Is Quinn Hughes healthy? Tell me he's healthy. No. Oh. No. Oh. Why? We need him, though. We need him. We need him. We do. We need him. Oh, my God. We need him. And he's not here for us. Francis is going back to the first line. We're trying things out, man. We were this close. And Weeman screwed it up. This is on you. This is on you. Oh, your offense could have bailed you out. It was 3-0 with a minute remaining in the second period. That's exactly why I said stop letting in late period goals, man. You're 90 overall. There are plenty of replacements behind you that are going to come for your job. Make me not want to trade you. Game 7. It's do or die, baby. Stanley Cup or bust. Here we go. Come on, Minnesota. Minnesota, please. I need a little bit of magic. And Ryan Nugent-Hopkins scores early for Edmonton. Power play for Minnesota. Can we get anything here? Absolutely nothing. Obviously, Minnesota. Obviously, like, what else would ever happen? Right? No. We can't get a power play goal to save our lives right now. 20 minutes under the way. Whatever. Screw English. I don't even need the English language. It's stupid. 20 minutes over and done with in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. 1-0. Shots are even, 11-11. There's not much more talking I can do to explain myself. I know the run was bound to die eventually, but the way you're going out is not the way a champion should go out. You should go out guns a-blazing. And that's not what it looks like right now. Second period. Come on, Minnesota. Can we get 1, 2, 3, maybe 4? You have so much talent on this team. And you've scored. Okay, Anthony Francis ties this one up in the second period. Halfway through the game. The big man shows up, rears his ugly head. I'm sure he's pretty, but you know what I mean. Oh. What is this? Shenaniganery! I hate this. Oh my god. Okay. 1-1. Shots are dead even again after 40 minutes. This is the most even a game can get. Do I even give them a pep talk? Do they even deserve that? I'm sure the coaches yelled at them a bunch of times. One man stepped up so far. I'm not even going to... No, 2 men have stepped up so far for Minnesota. I'm not even going to mention the other guy because it's voodoo. And me just mentioning that it's voodoo, you probably already know who it is. Third period. It's do or die. Come on, Minnesota. Come on, Minnesota. For the love of God, Minnesota. Minnesota. That's all I'm saying. Oh, Schofield, no. Minnesota, don't do this. Minnesota, 1, maybe 2. Please, 1. No, don't do this to me, Minnesota, please.